Okay, folks, here we go. Funny how I start to, the camera starts to come on and everything starts to fire up before it tells me to go live. Gotta get a, true to, YouTube just loves playing tricks. So, Phil, Lynn, welcome. I hope this stream works like it should. YouTube keeps changing things up for some reason. I don't know why they do that. Anyways, it says it's an excellent connection, so we should be good to go. I hope it's good on your end. It says it is. I don't know how long the delay is on this, but I think it's a few seconds anyways. We'll get a couple more on here, and then we'll start into looking at a few things. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on now that is being put into action, I would say, that it has been for the last number of years, but they're ramping it up. And it says now my current bit rate is lower. I get a warning. What is going on with YouTube? Okay. Still saying good health. Audio and sounds good. Right on. I'm just going to go with it. Let's wing it. Makes it more exciting, more interesting. So, let's see. What have I got here? Bring this up. Okay. We have Big Red. Big Red got saved. There's Faye. Yeah, they tried to destroy Big Red, old Kenny there. Old Kenny, looks like a Kenworth to me. And the judge said, no way, you're not taking that big truck and destroying it, destroying Chris Barber's, his income, his livelihood. The Liberal Party is just vengeful. Anybody that dared say anything about Trudeau or Nell Carney, they just want to just penalize you to the max. It's ridiculous. I got this one here. There's Chris there hanging out with Big Red. Good guy, patriot. Started between him and Tamara Lich. They really did a good job organizing, and they deserve a lot of credit. And it's it's a shame what they were put through, but that's what the criminal organization called the Government of Canada does. So, the GN Railroad, get the tree trimmed, Fred. It's too small to put trimmings on. So, that's, yeah, anyways. And now Tamara on house arrest, and she just got hired. Ezra Rebel News hired her as a reporter so she can get out and go to work. So it was a good move on Ezra. I just lost it here. Okay. But we're heading into Christmas this week, and almost thinking about Christmas Eve, maybe getting on here and having a little bit of a chat. And President Trump, nobody has a bigger heart than President Trump. This Christmas, he's flying thousands of illegals home to be with their families. What a generous, grateful, great move that is, to get those people back home with their families for Christmas, eh? Who would have thought of that? So, yeah, Trump, he's got a big heart, yeah. I had a couple of Christmas things here I might bring up later, but anyways, there is Oh boy, we're going to get into some stuff here that's a little sketchy, but that's okay. Uh, Another look at what's going down. Look at Australia. You know, the attack they had there. It's it's actually sinful what happened. I'm gonna bring this up. And the Bondi, I guess it's called Bondi Beach. So this is from the Australian news.com.au. Get that off. This was the first man released by the police after the dramatic tactical arrest. This was in Liverpool. And the media has got a hold of him. They want to ask him some questions. And here's what they get. This is only 1 minute long. He doesn't, he's quite quiet. You know, he's a quiet type of guy.
Did that happen last night or yesterday when you were arrested?
Police have said that they feared you guys had extremist beliefs. Is that true?
Would you just tell us your side, what happened?
Is there anything you'd like to say at all? Obviously, your face has been plastered all over the news, backed by this counter-terrorism operation. Is there anything you'd like to say in response? You seem quite defeated or upset right now.
I mean, the police have let you go, so will you tell us what your side is?
Your lawyer says you're here for a holiday. Is that true? You're going to keep holiday? Looks like you've had a long night. Is there anything you'd like to say? This is your chance.
He must have been too tired to talk after all that shooting and stuff, eh?
The sales of the Sydney Opera House have been...
It's enough of that. Sorry about that. Man, she came in loud. So, yeah, they tried to get some information out of him, but notice he had that Islamic beard, no mustache, just a beard. That's kind of a telltale sign. Now, this one here is from Australia too. It's under 3 minutes long, but it's they say a few things might offend some people, but hey, we don't care if somebody gets offended because hey, facts are facts, right? So we'll let this guy have a go at it here. It's a Two Worlds Collide podcast from Australia.
I hear stories like they are tailing Ben Roberts-Smith.
Yep.
They are putting massive ATO and AFP presence on him. I have friends in the military that have had their houses raided because of war crimes that have never been proven correct.
Yep.
And then I hear stuff like they're watching our accounts, they're watching far right accounts, and they have pulled a whole bunch of funds and redirect the AFP to go after people like us.
Yeah.
Because we're the only ones that actually threaten their political existence.
Correct. We're threatening their whole establishment that they've built up over the years. Like they've allowed Australian society to erode, as we've called out all year long, and that's the reason why they're watching and targeting us, which is fucking ridiculous, man. Like it's past the point of making any sense. You know, I think we said it offline yesterday or whenever we last had a chat on the phone before I came here. This is potentially Australia's biggest failure to date.
national security, domestic security, 100%.
All of it. Australia's biggest failure. And if it's not, and like, man, it's either the biggest failure or there's something going on behind the scenes that no one wants to address, and no one's going to go down there because we don't want to. But there's some fucking weird shit going on there, and that's the only way you can explain it, because no other person in their right mind is going to say, well, they knew that it was going to happen. But instead of them knowing about it, they just pulled all attention elsewhere, which is even worse. That's being complicit.
Yeah, I had a discussion with a friend about this. That was an ex-military guy. I don't want to ever name my sources with all this because a lot of the guys are still in that field of work and stuff like that. But we were speaking to each other on the phone this morning saying the failures are that bad and they have lined up so terribly and the government still won't admit their mistake that this is actually starting to look like a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's how bad the failures are.
That's right. It's almost at that point where you don't believe that the government would fail this bad,
Exactly right.
but they have.
Mm.
It's insane, man. It is absolutely insane. And then to add insult to injury, like we just discussed before, they're coming for the guns.
Mm.
It's like
Guns and anti-Semitic laws.
yeah, which is insane, man. Like, yes, 100%, we can all acknowledge that it was an attack on the Jewish population of Sydney or Australia. But before that, and I said this in the video the other day, above all, it was an attack on Australia and an attack on Australians. So as an Australian country, we should be targeting that whole issue. There are people spreading hate. They need to get the fuck out or be dealt with, man.
Yeah, in not so many words. He nails it. Now, right here in Canada, talking about surveillance, we've got our own issues. And I was a little surprised by this one. Not really surprised, but I was kind of not shocked. It's Canada. If I can find it here. It's not that one. It's coming right up, I believe. This one here. And Jeremy Mackenzie, I'm sure most people on here would know who Jeremy Mackenzie was. He invented Diagolon that Trudeau ran with, saying, "Oh, these are horrible people. They're gonna," and they actually locked him up in jail on a fake charge, right? So, anyways, this a little look at what the RCMP are doing right here in Canada. Our federal police force, bought and paid for by the government of Canada.
So what is this group really about? To find out, we focus on its leaders, Jeremy Mackenzie, president of Second Sons, and Alex Friend, vice president. We use automated code to collect their available podcasts and live stream episodes over the last 2 years, and use AI tools to transcribe them and look for keywords. Then we log them into spreadsheets and listen to every snippet to verify them. So what is this group really about? To find out, we focus on its leaders, Jeremy Mackenzie, president of Second Sons, and Alex Friend, vice president. We use automated code to collect their available podcasts and live stream episodes over the last 2 years, and use AI tools to transcribe them and look for keywords. Then we log them into spreadsheets and listen to every snippet to verify them. So what is it?
So you see, that's a short video, but it says a lot, doesn't it? Anybody that is not 100% on side with the government of Canada, well, they're collecting all the videos, all the live streams, and taking snippets of anything said that might upset our supreme leader here now. But do we care? Well, not really, because it is what it is. They can't shut everybody up. That's what they tried to do under communism, right? They tried to shut everybody up. And what happens when they do that, you end up with a convoy like we had, and people get very upset for a good reason. This is Canada. Not really, but I mean, it's not really Canada. It's It's not what Canada used to be. This one here, but it's what we got now. It's at the hockey game. Like, whatever happened to the national anthem? I guess they don't bother with that anymore. So that's what we get instead. Is the East Indians and Sikhs doing their whatever they call it. But it doesn't it's not flying now in Australia. I'll show you how the Aussies deal with it. If I can find it. It should be here somewhere. It's close. Oops, gotta go the other way. Yeah, the Aussies are getting very fed up. It's happening around the world. You know, it's the groups are forming, they protesting. They've had enough. Where'd you go? No, maybe I can't find it here. Anyways, I will come across it here later. We've got over in England now. This is so obvious, this one, right? Okay, so in the UK, they've got a checkpoint up. They're searching people, but for some reason, they don't want to search anybody in a burqa, in the full burqa. But so you know what's going to happen. I'll tell you, I knew a guy passed away now, but he was over in Bosnia, and he said when they seen a burqa coming towards them, they looked down at the feet. It was number 10 boot. They shot. This is what's going down here. Here comes the burqa. Checking the ladies' bags, shopping bags. Cops aren't that bright, are they? They're all distracted with that old lady's shopping bag, seeing what she bought, hey, going through it. Disgusting. And you see, they want to disarm the public. This is the one here I was looking for. This is back in Australia, and the Sikhs are doing a parade. They're taking over the streets, right? So the Aussies had kind of had enough, and they said, well, we're going to go meet them. So they met them all, right? They met them square on. There they are. I don't know what they're saying. I think it was maybe like, get the hell out of here. We had enough of your crap or something like that. That was New Zealand, sorry, not Australia. So there is a reaction finally. Enough? Well, not sure if there's going to be enough. It's going to have to get a little bit stronger than that. We've got over in, where was this? Is Brussels. They're not very happy in Brussels. The EU's falling apart. They're probably going to be running scared here soon because, like I say, the people have had enough, and it's just a matter of time. What they're trying to do, they're trying to get us fighting with each other, right? So then, if they can bring enough Islam in to take care of the locals, then they'll deal with that after. They'll let Islam do the dirty work for them. That's the way I see it. It's a pretty good turnout in Brussels. I don't know if I'll get a strike on that or not, so. Anyways, they all got their lights, and that's outside the EU headquarters there in Brussels. So they're fed up. England, UK is fed up. In the US, they're working hard to get that going in the US, the Democrats, all the different groups. We've got this is actually from Mark Nixon, posted this. It's the CTV News clip of what's going on, just happened here in Canada just before Christmas, folks. Just before Christmas. Muslims hate Christmas.
We're tracking a major story from the Toronto area. The RCMP have charged a man with terrorism-related offenses linked to the ISIS terror group. 26-year-old resident of Toronto, his name is Walid Khan, taken into custody by the RCMP, one of 3 people who are now facing a combined 79 charges in connection with a joint investigation that was led by the Toronto Police Department. Khan is facing dozens of criminal charges related to offenses that police say targeted women and members of the Jewish community. The offenses include things like kidnapping, attempted kidnapping with weapons, conspiracy to commit sexual assault, as well as hostage taking. Separately, Khan is also facing 7 terrorism-related offenses in connection with an RCMP investigation. The head of the Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs in Canada saying this is very disturbing, coming less than a week after an horrific attack in Australia at Bondi Beach at a Hanukkah celebration there. Listen to this.
It's absolutely chilling to read the report from police that at least one individual was arrested on terrorism-related charges, and that these crimes were being planned and perpetrated targeting women and Jewish Canadians.
Now, you see, in Australia, the first thing the Prime Minister of Australia did was said that we're going to get those firearms away from those white supremacists, right? First of all, Australia has got a very strict, stricter than Canada right now on firearms. And they want to take the remaining ones, whatever they've got. So, anyways, that's a little look at some of the crap that's going down in the Western world. There's we got one more here from Australia. This is it could very well be the Canadian police, just as well, just like they're so alike, they're almost identical. So it doesn't make any sense. If it doesn't make any sense, then there's an issue, right?
Essentially, the National Security Investigations teams are a flying squad of hate disruptors who focus on high harm, high impact, politically motivated violence, communal violence, and hate crimes that don't meet the threshold for terrorism investigations, but that we know drive fear and division. This is all about stopping hate and division earlier and well before it leads to violence. So far, this crack squad has charged 14 individuals across 13 investigations, and of those, 4 individuals across 4 operations were charged for offences relating to anti-Semitism. The teams were responsible for a recent week-long national blitz on the distribution and display of prohibited symbols, and for charging a passenger who only this week allegedly threatened violence toward a member of the Jewish community on a flight from Bali to Sydney. The announcement today to boost the numbers of our hate disruptors, as well as planned changes to lower the threshold for hate speech, will make it easier for the AFP to take action quicker. It could be the difference between us just knocking on a door to warn an individual to an individual being placed in handcuffs.
So, I'm not sure what groups she's talking about. It could be anybody, but they do go after people apparently for mean tweets, or mean posts rather, and lock them up, just like in the UK. Just like they want to do here with Bill C2, which is coming right up here in the new year. It's our Canadian version that Liberals want to put through, and I almost think the Bloc and the NDP might vote with them on it. So this guy here has got a 52-second clip on it.
What is Bill C2? Bill C2 proposes to make any cash transaction of $10,000 or more illegal. It also has wording that says smaller cash transactions that are, quote, related will also be illegal. This would be detrimental to tons of small businesses in Canada, as well as making it nearly impossible to start a new business. And if you're thinking like, oh, I'll just operate under the table, it's like, no, this is the bill that makes you a criminal for doing that. This is the bill to close out the possibility of you operating with cash completely. Liberals have already introduced this bill. They will pass this bill if they form a majority. What can you do about it? Talk about it. A lot of people hear these things and they don't actually know what's going on. Bill C2, it's really simple. It makes cash transactions of $10,000 or more illegal. More people need to know what this is. This will impact tons of small businesses and tons of just individuals in Canada if it were to be passed. Many people don't know that this is a bill that the Liberals are planning on passing if they form a majority. What is Bill C2?
Sorry, I thought I got that mixed up with Bill C9. There's so many bills in the books now that censorship and control that the Liberals are putting out that it's just hard to keep track of them all, right? Bill C14. Yeah, I don't know how many more they got lined up, one after the other, to come after us. So now these,
Essentially,
these videos want to play after I've already played them. But this is this one here. I got one more. This was another idea of what's going on. Get this one going.
All these billionaires are building these underground bunkers, and they have
Yes.
this access. I know it's a fact,
Yep.
but that they have access to all this ancient knowledge through what, the occult?
Through the mystery schools.
I mean, so, I mean, at what point do you just get introduced like, oh, hey, you made it. Here's the
You mean in
here's
the
the
mystery
knowledge.
schools?
You might want to build a bunker.
That's a good question. That's a very good question.
Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I don't know the answer. But
What is the occult? I'm new to all of this.
okay, so well, the occult is a very general term. You know, the occult can encompass, you know, your everyday Satanist.
That's kind of what I thought it was.
Yeah, the occult is a very broad term. The mystery schools are a little more specific. The mystery schools go back to the ancient times, and the function of the mystery school, fundamentally, is to preserve the knowledge of the antediluvian world. And more specifically, to preserve the knowledge that was transmitted to mankind by the gods who descended in the Golden Age. That is the purpose of the mystery schools. And there's various mystery schools around the world, but
Like what are they?
well, you know, you had the Elysian mysteries that were the ancient Greek mysteries. You had the Egyptian mysteries. You had the modern adaptations, like you had the Knights Templar, who were to some extent a mystery school. But then you had the Masons, the Freemasonry.
Didn't the Templar turn into the Masons?
The Masons preserve some of the traditions of the Templar order. Yes. There's modifications, but fundamentally there's the let's say the pillars of Masonry do come to some extent from the Knights Templar. And so you have different variations of mystery schools. You know, this is the Illuminati, right? That would be a one faction of the mystery schools, or maybe a term that encompasses them all. And again, the primary purpose of the mystery schools is to preserve the knowledge that was transmitted by the gods to mankind in the antediluvian world before the cataclysm. The knowledge that was transmitted to mankind during the Golden Age, during Zep Tepi the first time. And that is functional knowledge, by the way. It's not just, it's not just sort of arcane, mysterious knowledge that pertains to, just bizarre stuff. No, we're talking about functional knowledge, information that is very important, that is transmitted through myths also. Myths transmit knowledge. The wise concocted those myths. The ancient sages they devised the myths. And we're talking about the famous myths from the ancients among the Greeks and the ancient Egyptians and the ancient Mesopotamians. What we today look at as bedtime stories, what we today view as folklore, and of course, historians and archaeologists and anthropologists don't really give much weight to these myths. Oh, that's just Greek mythology. But the myths were intentionally designed to transmit information, to preserve information and transmit it through time. And it's done primarily through symbolism. Because languages change, right?
Mm-hmm.
Languages change, but the meaning of the symbols always remains the same.
So how do you think these guys get into, how do they get the knowledge? You thought about that?
You mean the people who are in the...
Yeah, the bunker builders.
So it's, again...
they could just be worried about nuclear war.
There's a couple of things that's true, yes, absolutely. That's certainly
in play. But there's a couple of ways. I mean, one.
So, yeah, at the beginning there, they talked about the underground bunkers, eh? And let's see, back in, I would say, late 30s, early 40s, the Germans were quite busy building bunkers inside mountains. And I think some of those old German bunkers may have been retrofitted, made a lot bigger, maybe used the entrance and the whatever was inside, how much room to carry on building. Because Switzerland, this one here from Switzerland, it shows how they've actually taken the mountain and hollowed it out pretty much. It's amazing.
More surprisingly, the Swiss government has turned the entire Alps into a huge bunker, equipped with luxury hotels, restaurants, public canteens, modern shower rooms, dormitories, hospitals, and giant generators. Just the room keys alone can fill a wall. The entrance to the bunker is through this dilapidated door. From outside the mountain, it's hard to tell that this is a bunker. Only upon close inspection will you realize that the whole mountain has been riddled with holes. What seems like an ordinary house, once you open the door, is also a sturdy bunker, or this piece of stone is also a bunker. As is well known, the Alps occupy 62.5% of Swiss territory. They have built armed bunkers in 60% of their mountainous areas, and in the remaining 40% of the plains, every community has a nuclear blast shelter with complete medical facilities, operating rooms, morgues, etc. The bunkers under residential buildings typically feature a half-meter thick blast door and an air filter. We all know that Switzerland has been neutral since 1815 and holds 30% of the world's private wealth. So why has it built so many armed?
Yeah. Now, pretty much, well, I would say every country has them. Even backwards, old Canada has them. And U.S., I see there's rumors of the East Wing that is being dug a little deeper than what's actually normal. So, here's another one here with Catherine Austin Fitts with Tucker Carlson. This is a U.S., of course. And this is huge.
But I think that whether it's a pole shift, magnetic pole shift is one of the, theories of what causes these events. But there is a history of near extinction events. And one of the things that I've looked at, because I'm trying to figure out, between fiscal 1998 and fiscal 2015, there were 21 trillion of undocumentable adjustments in the U.S. government. If you go to our website, missingmoney.slayer.com, we have years and years of documentation, including the government financials that show this. And so the question is, where's all this money going? And one of the things I've looked at in the process of looking at where all this money is going is the underground base and city infrastructure and transportation system that's been built. And
I'm sorry?
Yes. So we have built an extraordinary number of underground bases and supposedly transportation systems. Some of these are some of these are documented as part of the national security infrastructure. I think there are many more. So
in the United States?
In the United States, on all over the world. But from 2021 to 2023, I took one of the smartest subscribers in the Slayer Report network, and he and I spent 2 years collecting all the data and all the allegations on underground bases. And then we we systematically went through and tried to estimate our guess, this is totally a guess, of how many underground bases, both underground in the United States, but also underground under the ocean around the United States. And our estimate was 170 with the transportation network connecting them.
And what would be the purpose?
The purpose, if you thought you were going to get a near extinction event, so there, to me, there are two purposes. You have so many activities going on that you need to keep secret, that you're basically building the capacity to, for example, if you're doing a secret space program, you need to platform it from, things that can't be seen. But I think if you're worried about a near extinction event, that's.
So I know nothing about this other than my only window into it. I knew a contractor who worked on one in Washington, in the city of Washington, D.C. And I remember him telling me about a power box, like a transformer box on Constitution Avenue, that he told me, because he worked on it personally, was actually the exit, the egress from White House. That was kind of by vehicle. I thought that was, when I was like, really? He goes, oh, yeah, no, I installed it, I know. And I thought, well, that's kind of crazy that in the middle of this big city where I lived I was on Constitution Avenue every day, that you could build something like that without me knowing it, under the VP's house at the Naval Observatory, same thing. I think most people know that. Next to my brother's house on Macomb Street in DC. But that's, I always thought that was like preparation for nuclear war. Like, I didn't really think about it that much.
Some of it is, yeah. It's preparation for catastrophe.
So, but you think that there are facilities like that in other places outside DC?
Oh, yeah. So if you're interested, we have a great interview. I did an interview of Richard Dolan on underground bases on the Solari Report, and it's sort of an introduction to the topic, and it's based on a lot of the research of a guy named Richard Sauter, who...
I think I better shut that one down. I'm not sure if that's the issue, but I just got a warning from YouTube saying that somebody owned the video and the stream could be discontinued. So we'll just keep going and see how it plays out, because it doesn't say which video it was. It could have been Tucker Carlson. We will see. I can stick with some of these other ones. This one here is, I'm not quite sure what this one is. Yeah, I mean, that was just a test I had trying to get my settings back here with YouTube with their new whatever. They keep tweaking things. Just making it harder. Okay. This is a Christmas event, and the disruptors show up to try to shut down the Christmas event. So I'm not sure where that was, where that is, but they're doing that around the world now. They're showing up to try to shut down any Christmas celebrations. It's just, that's their new gig, I guess, eh? Shut it down. And this one here is it for the United States of America. John Podesta and Gavin Newsom. And they're the Western Alliance trying to fight Trump. It's all going to pieces fast.
Then John Podesta. You can find articles on when John Podesta did this at Breitbart in particular. The Western Alliance was to pull together California, several other states, also working closely with John Podesta is the governor of California. Those who know anything about Newsom understand the stink that comes with him.
So is that why Newsom is being so defiant? He's working for the Western Alliance?
Oh my, how? Newsom, his connections to China, California, their connections. Remember something, Nino, remember what took place not that long ago when they found that there were biolabs in a warehouse in California? Boy, you know, this was not.
Is that when we send the Blackhawks in there to intercept the biolabs?
No, this was an ongoing biolab that was in just some warehouse that they were creating all these very serious bioweapons. Where was the big investigation about any of that?
Wow.
Where were the arrests?
You see, there's so much going on. We got so many factions that they're all out to destroy us. And I don't think some of them are even working together. They just got this hate on. And they look at us like we're just easy targets because the police don't bother them, but they come after anybody that speaks out against them. So, we got our work cut out for us, I would say. And I still say it's going to blow. And where it's going to start, who knows. But when it does, I think it's just going to be like a shock wave. It's going to start going country to country. Because people are going to say, hey, look, this is what we got to do. It's just a heads up to what's probably coming down the pipes here. And I think I'm going to go, by the looks of what I'm scrolling through here, I think I'm going to go to, let's get a little Christmassy. And scenes are getting close, and what we can do is I'm thinking maybe Christmas Eve, just come on and have some good news, have all good news, right? That would be a change. Let's end the year with good news. And here's one here. You've probably seen this, but if not, it's a quick one. Listen up to this.
'Tis the season to deport.
Sorry, hang on. I gotta get it up. I'll start over. It's here we go.
'Tis the season to deport 'em. Fa la 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 la. We love ICE and we support 'em. Fa la 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 la. Send them on one-way vacations. Fa la 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 la.
Just a little chuckle. Something to have a little giggle over. This is, you probably remember this happening too. This is from 2023. So, this is the Trumper in 2023.
It was Christmas Day. We boarded Air Force
2018.
One in complete and total darkness, in the pitch black of night. We landed in war-torn western Iraq. No lights on the runway. There were hundreds of troops packed into a dining hall. They had absolutely no idea that the president and first lady were about to walk into that room. And when they did, it was a sight and a sound and a scene that I hope I never forget. That room absolutely erupted. That was the kind of patriotism President Trump brought back to our country. One of the young soldiers yelled from the back of the room, "Mr. President, I re-enlisted in the military because of you." And without missing a beat, the president said, "And son, I am here because of you."
Yeah. People, Crystal Ray, have you seen Trump's Christmas album? It's hilarious. I haven't seen that. I'm gonna have to look for it. See what we can get for Christmas Eve. This is one that apparently this is an older one too. I don't know when it was put out. It was put out just yesterday, I guess. But I think it might be a little older. We'll see. Take a look at this.
Was the night before Christmas, the snow deep and white. The reindeer were set for their long winter flight. The elves were all wrapping the last gifts with care. The scent of hot cocoa hung sweet in the air. Old Santa sat slumped in his chair by the fire, his nose red and runny, his fever grew higher. He sneezed and he sniffled, he coughed and he wheezed.
Oh dear,
Santa groaned.
I'm as sick as can be.
Outside of the workshop arose such a clatter, a chopper arriving. What could be the matter? Away to his window old Santa did dash, threw open the shutters and drew up the sash. There on the snow, touching down with a thump, Marine One arrived with President Trump. Donald stepped down onto the snow with a confident stride and a soft orange glow.
Hey, Santa!
Trump called,
You look tired, so tired. I'll be Santa this year. It's a job I admire. I've handled much bigger, believe me, it's true. The economy, China, I'll handle this too.
Old Santa just blinked and he started to grin.
Hello, my old friend. Come in, come in. I've done this for centuries, year after year. A night off sounds nice. It's so cozy in here.
Trump strutted inside to the workshop with flair. The elves all stopped working to ogle and stare.
These elves,
Donald said,
they're incredible folks. The best in the business. They're really no joke. We're going to have Christmas like never before. The biggest, the best. That's what we're here for.
He loaded the sleigh with his own special touch.
More gifts. We need more. This isn't enough.
The bag overflowed, stacked right to the top, all made by the elves in Santa's workshop. Then onto the sleigh he climbed up with great pride, Melania's cookies tucked right by his side. He cracked the gold whip, the reindeer took flight.
Now Dasher, now Prancer. Let's do this thing right. On Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen, we'll make history tonight, and poems will be written.
The reindeer responded with thunder and spark. Off through the sky they blazed into the dark. For the daughters, a doll with a pretty pink dress. For the sons, a race car, shiny red, the best.
Because boys will be boys and girls will be girls. It's just common sense. It's the real world.
To Democrats' houses he came without spite, even though they'd complain and they'd fuss and they'd fight.
He's a fascist!
He left them face masks and 95 so that they'd feel safe when driving inside. Their cars all alone with windows rolled tight, they're still double masking. It's such a sad sight. Greta Thunberg bobbleheads too, a little voice box that screams, "How dare you?" In one quiet house, Trump knelt by the tree. When a little boy woke, he'd got up to pee.
Santa?
He asked and slowly walked near. But Santa looked different, more orange, less beard.
Not Santa,
Trump said with a wink and a grin.
but just as good looking and way, way more thin.
The boy rubbed his eyes.
Are you President Trump?
Trump just smiled and gave the kid a fist bump, then held out a flag, red, white, and blue.
Merry Christmas, young man. This is for you.
Before heading north, Trump cinched up his coat, one last present to give to the cartel boat. No missiles tonight, it was Christmas, you see. Instead, he dropped something more natural. The reindeer let loose with a thunderous sound, and magical droppings swiftly rained down. Reindeer that fly have a special-made pool. It sparkles, explodes, and it's quite deadly, too. Boom, went the speedboat. Blam, went the drug. Out into the sea flew the criminal thug. But Trump wasn't done. He swung around back.
I'll finish them off with a quick double tap.
Another pass over, more presents from Deere, and the cartel's whole shipment had just disappeared.
That's how we do Christmas.
Trump shouted with glee.
Merry Christmas, you scumbags. This gift was from me.
Trump finally turned north as dawn filled the sky. The reindeer were tired, and so was the guy. Old Santa was waiting with cocoa in hand.
Well done, Donald Trump. That was all just so grand. It was nothing. Believe me, I do this all day. I love delivering toys in your sleigh. The people are happy, the presents delivered, the drug boats are sunk, and justice delivered.
He handed the reins back to Jolly St. Nick.
Call me again whenever you're sick.
You saved Christmas this year. God bless you, my friend.
Trump nodded and turned. The trip had to end. Marine One lifted off into the sky, and Santa waved back with a tear in his eye. Trump leaned out the window that cold Christmas day, real loud so Santa could hear him say,
To the soldiers abroad and the farmers at home, to the builders, the truckers, wherever they roam, to the cops and the nurses, the teachers, the vets, to the kids in pajamas and the family pets, and even the haters, the losers, the fakes, and even Pelosi, that treacherous snake.
Santa heard him exclaim as he flew out of sight.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
But then Santa heard one more thing at the end.
Let's make America great again.
The night that Trump saved Christmas. Yeah, I can imagine CBC and what's her name from the O Show, those diehard, hateful, liberal, poison, punch. I should put that link. I can't get the link onto her channel, or I would. So, yeah. Well, we got, like I say, what is it? Thursday's Christmas, I guess, isn't it? 21st. Thursday, yeah. I had to count on my fingers. All warm and fuzzy now. Yes. Yeah, the Orange Man saved Christmas. There's, I'm sure, going to be some more. Well, there are quite a few more videos. There's one guy that does the voice, and he's got it down 100%. I forget what his name is, but he's darn good at it. I could probably bring him up here. So the I won't even go into some of the other stuff that's in the news. It's just kind of horrid stuff, and a lot of people are covering it. So I won't bother. If I can get this guy real quick, I'll bring him up. But boy, they're sure doing a lot of protesting in front of Michael Maugh's office. He's nowhere to be found. He's hiding out somewheres. So, I haven't seen this one. It says somebody seen this and decided that it was missing. What was missing was 4 million Muslims. This is wild looking. I'll bring this up. It's only 29 seconds. Little time filler here. So I don't know what this is.
I need an explanation. Tell me more. Why are we alone?
Can't do it. They're going to give me another strike. I'm going to get one now, as it is. They're so finicky. I can't afford. I've already got one strike on record, so I might have two now. 3, I'm out. Go back over to Rumble. But what's going on here? Are these people trying to ruin this guy's Christmas? Really? Hey. Unbelievable. What's going on these days? They're trying to ruin this guy's Christmas. Look at this. All he's doing is trying to steal a bunch of stuff for Christmas. A bunch of liquor. He's gonna lose his pants. Yeah. Yeah. He was just trying to get some Christmas presents. Basket full of booze. uh, oh. Oh, I can't put that on. Bruce Fanjoy. Bruce Fanjoy was he's the one that Liberal that stole the Carlton writing from Pierre. Wishing people a Merry Christmas. What a goof. Let's see. Oh, gotta get another. Oh. Just. Okay, here we go. Here's one for you, Faye. Especially for you. One of your favorites. From Florida.
I used the performance drink and it helped me a lot. Actually, my average heart rate was 7 points better than last time. So that was fun. That was a great day. Merry Christmas, everybody. See you another time. Hello, everybody. I just...
Yeah, Maxine. Just kicking back. Kicking back in Florida. Still getting paid. He's doing okay. He's got his house built by now, I guess. We are I'm trying to get through some of these Christmas ones, the early ones. A lot of political stuff on here, but Michael Ma, he's there's an investigation now by the RCMP, I guess, into Michael Ma. So it's to do with China. And it sure sounds like he's in way over his head. Very cozy with the communists. Oh, here's one here. This is a new one. It's only 8 seconds. Chris Barber. Never bow to tyranny. Here's Big Red. This is well done. Never bow to tyranny. Let me get another strike. I don't care, it's Christmas. Now, well, here we go. Hot caffeine for us old people, calming tea for hyper kids. This looks more like we're like a leader of a country compared to what we have. There's Pierre and Anna. And I would say Anna's mother, or it could be Pierre's mother. I think it's Pierre's mother. And the the two children. It's a good picture. Just going to keep browsing here for a few minutes, see what I can come across here. That was people from Poland feeding truckers, but that's old. It was just posted though by Ryan Garrettson. Let's see, Vigilant Fox. Okay, let's put this one up. Let's check this one out. Might be some language in this one. So, just a heads up because I recognize one of these gals. She doesn't hold back.
We reported this week that Canada is on the road to criminalizing the Bible. Yes, the very book and belief system of the West is being attacked, and they're not even pretending anymore. This is the case in the UK, Australia, and multiple countries in the West. So what is this aggressive attack on Christianity and Western values, and how did we get here? Tajana Tsekic is a vocal Canadian advocate of freedom and liberty, dropping quality analysis of current events in light of the New World Order on social media. And she's uniquely positioned to speak on the rise of totalitarian governments, having come from Eastern Europe originally and having lived through it. Tajana joins us for an insight into how Canada descended into this madness and the patterns she spots all across the West and what to do about it. Right after this short word from one of the sponsors who make this show possible. Don't go anywhere. There are things that you can do to keep yourself fit, healthy, and protected in this world where it seems like attacks on our health come from all sides. Take charge of your health with the Energetic Health Institute, giving you the tools to lead a healthier, more balanced life, brought to you by Dr. Henry Ely and doctors just like him. True healers and physicians who are making people well successfully outside of Big Pharma. Visit myehialoha.org/#VFox and join their live conferences, virtual solutions summit, engaging Q&A sessions with their first-class, heart-centered professionals, and access all past event replays anytime, anywhere. You can also join the Healing for the Ages community, led by Drs. Brian Ardis, Ed Group, Henry Ely, and Jana Schmidt, and become part of the movement. Resources are a whopping 30% off when you use code VFOX. Again, that link is myehialoha.org/#.
The other one wasn't on there, the other gal. There's there she is here. You'll probably recognize her. I'm surprised that her picture's on there, but she's not. No, I don't have it on there, sorry. This gal here, I forget her name right now. She's in Canada. So see if I can get anything else on here. This, yeah, this.
At the lowest census.
I'm gonna put this one up here because this will remind us of 4 years ago. This is Ryan Garrettson posted this on X. Can't forget what they did to us, right?
You remember when we were heroes and we got 30% off at fast food joints, or we got cut ahead of the line at the grocery store, or people praised our viral TikTok dance routines in empty hallways and hospitals that had the lowest census in 100 years? Do you remember we were heroes because we were doing the absolute best for our patients? We were on the cutting edge of health and safety because we wore the mask, we wore the gown, we sanitized our hands. We were doing the best possible for our patients. Until a few days later, we weren't, because in addition to all those measures, we didn't take an experimental injection that we knew by then didn't prevent infection and didn't prevent transmission. We weren't allowed into food courts or restaurants or cinemas. And we were fired with cause just before Christmas. with cause means you're in the same category as somebody who punched a patient or stole from the organization. Fired with cause, ensuring we didn't get financial compensation, no severance, and no employment insurance that we paid into for years. People openly called for our death, and we were excluded from society. And people will say, 5 years later, and you're still bringing this up. And yeah, 5 years after, our grandparents, the people who brought us into this world and created this world that we live in, were forced to die alone and confused behind plexiglass, wondering why their children weren't visiting them anymore. 5 years after we forced children to take an experimental injection that gave them myocarditis just so they could get on a plane or a train to visit family. 5 years after people were killed or maimed because they didn't wear a flimsy piece of cloth over their face. I will keep bringing it up because on this rant, I passed by no less than 20 rainbow flags commemorating the Stonewall riots of New York in 1969, nearly 50 years ago, and that's shoved down our throats on a daily basis, on every storefront, in every elementary school, in every city, under threat of financial penalty. So I will keep bringing it up, and I hope you will keep remembering. Have a very Merry Christmas.
Yeah, we can't forget that. That's, we actually should be having an annual remembrance of the Freedom Convoy. Just to rub their nose in it, right? So, now, if I get a couple of strikes here, see you over on Rumble. I'm expecting one here now. So, and I could be wrong, but seems I got that warning from YouTube popped up saying they're going to shut the stream down. So far they didn't. So anyways, right now, I think we should get together on Christmas Eve. Anybody that's sitting around, got some time on their hands, try to do it around the same time. And thank you all for joining in. It's always great to see you all here, and seeing some people returning I haven't seen for a while. And it's all good, folks. It's all good. We gotta just keep getting the word out and sharing anything you can. You know, any little clips here that you've seen you might want to share. We just got to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, because they're going to keep pushing their agenda on us. So as long as we keep fighting back, we got to use every tool in the box, right? So, yeah, I think around the same time there, folks, would be good. If you're doing nothing, just kicking back with a German cold can, right? So, yeah, well, let's do it then. I'll plan for that. So, okay, folks, it's always great to see you all on here, and hope you have a great Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm losing track of the days. Okay, I'll leave it at that. So y'all take care, and I'll see you in a few days.